You, my darling.
Good morning, good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm lovely, you know. It's nice to be here this morning and thank you for the invite. Really do appreciate it. How are you, my darling?
I'm good, I'm good. Well, as you know, I've just come back from Iron Napa. Who don't know? Because those of you that are following my stream on Facebook would have got an avalanche of videos, photos, the
Really?
whole lot.
Really? Really?
I photo bombed, I just had it all up there. Do you know what it was? I am so sick and tired of seeing the likes of Margaret and Marcia just continually go on holiday. And I'm thinking I've got to wait like once every 6 months. So when I do,
Hmm.
I let everybody know I'm on holiday.
You
So
see, I
yes, I
I
did.
never let no one know I'm on holiday. But then again, I don't have bikini bodies like you guys. You understand? But when I'm on holiday, listen, I went to America for a month and no one knew I went because all to this day I ain't posted nothing on like, no, sir. Mm-mm. But big up to those who do that. You know what I mean? It's fine. Not me. Mm-mm.
Well, it's a little bit of showing off, as well. You've got to show everybody
Nothing
you're in the
wrong.
heat whilst everybody's in the cold,
In
you
the
know,
cowl,
in
yes.
the cold. But anyway, you've been playing some excellent tunes there. I've been bopping up in the background. I had to kind of fix up a little bit because what I do and what I normally do, which I thought I'd get out of the habit of, is doing all nighters. I fell asleep during the evening, and then by 12 o'clock, I'm up.
Oh
So I
wow.
haven't
Okay.
really slept. So Sharky would tell me off for this, but nevertheless, here I am. So welcome everyone to the Breakfast Flight Show with Delight covering. I've got lots of mix clouds up because we're streaming on three mix clouds, and so I don't know where the chat is right
It's
now.
mainly
So
on Sharky's one. I've got the three open as well, but it's mainly on Sharky's one. Oops, we got Davy J over on the GY Radio one. So good morning, Davy J. But yeah, most people are on Sharky's stream.
oh, well, good morning, everyone. Now, I heard you talking about, now, before we carry on, okay, you've got to know the rules and regulations of the Breakfast Flight Show because you've got to know when to come in, right? You've got to check out for the cues of when I finish the news so you can bring in the tune. Now, Sharky's got it down to a T. I'm just checking whether my girlfriend is gonna, is gonna
I got
know.
you, girl. I got
You've
you.
got
Don't
me.
you don't worry about the thing. Me have you. I have you.
So listen, earlier on you were talking about the Met Gala, right? This thing called the Met Gala, and that
Hmm.
Kim Kardashian is dominating the news right now. Now the Met Gala, I don't know, it was established way back in 1948, just to give you a bit of history, right? And it was like a way to raise money for a newly founded costume institute, and then it's just evolved into all these superstars and celebrities attending. It's regarded as one of the most prominent events to go to. So, the tickets are like hot tickets and everyone just dresses weird and odd. There's always a theme. I think it was the Garden of Flowers or the Garden of Paradise or something like that it was for this year. And so everyone went all out. I saw Rita Ora's outfit, which was kind of like some nude body stocking and then some like, them curtains you had on your doors in the kitchen.
From way back when, yes.
You have had the plastic things or you had the glitter things that
Yeah,
came
yeah,
down
yeah,
by the
yeah.
by the kitchen door, like that was, fire safety. But she had one of those on the front, and I don't know about that outfit. I don't know about these people. Sometimes people have got more money than sense. But
Definitely.
but you were talking about Kim Kardashian's outfit in particular. So I decided we needed to have a look at this, needed to investigate what it was about her waist that was so tiny. Because I
Hmm.
know I got a small waist, but is my waist as small as this? This is
Mm,
this is
that's
small.
ridiculous. As I said, her waist in this picture is the size of my thigh currently. Do you know what I mean? Ain't gonna be like that forever. Not gonna be like that forever. It will change, trust me.
No, but you know what? How uncomfortable must that be? You can't be comfortable in
You
an
can't.
outfit like that.
No, because
You
it
can't.
must be. She's probably got one of those corsets on. Then it's good, but it's crushing all your innards. You understand? All your
Your innards
intestines,
and
your kidney.
skinnids.
It is just all for the price of fashion. It doesn't make sense to me. But maybe I'm old school. I don't know.
Maybe we're not that thin, man. Maybe I don't know.
Well,
I
I don't
wouldn't get my.
know. In my head, I'm that thin. In my head, I'm that thin. But on the physical, it's a bit. Bloof. And talking, look at my picture. Now, look at my picture in the background there. My face was nice and thin and everything. And look now, bloops. Got to
We
wear
just got to
glasses
just
because I
turn to the
can't see
side.
nothing.
Just turn to the side, man. Just turn to the side. That's all you got
Nah,
to
it's
do.
all right. I'll be getting back there. I'm gonna talk to Jackie Fit, man. Trust me.
Listen, I need some training from Jackie Fitch. She needs to come and move to the West Midlands for a couple of months. But
Yes.
Chevrolet says, "Morning HPQ. Hope you had a good time in the sun. Can you not tell by my voice and the tan? Can you not see the glow, the ever glowing glow around me and stuff?" And and First Lady seems like she has a waist trainer on. I think she has some sort of,
Yeah.
one of those Japanese corsets that just kind of pull you right
Yeah,
in.
pull you right. That's exactly what she's got, and she must have three of them on because that waist is just ridiculous.
No one could have a waist like that. Well, only those people that have had lots of surgery. Those
Mm,
people that need to have those big lips and
mm.
big
But
hefty
imagine
boobs.
now if she needs to expel a little gas, everything come undone in it.
She can't eat. That's all
No,
I know. She can't eat
no,
because
no,
there's nowhere for the food to go.
no.
Nah, 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 nah. I couldn't have anything like that on. Not at
Okay.
all. Now,
Anyway,
coming back
tonight.
to more serious news. Now, as I was saying, I listen to LBC a lot, especially in my car. I only have it on that radio station. And they come out with some really good conversations. Over the past couple of weeks, it's been dominated by Israel. But quite recently, they've been talking about obviously this Rwanda controversy with Rishi Sunak. But one of the things I want to talk about was the British Museum. Now, as we know, the British Museum has got certain artifacts from several countries, especially African countries
Hmm.
within the continent. And I don't know, from Spain and Greece, the Parthenon stones, I think they have as well. And people are calling for the British Museum to hand them back. And I believe that India is launching a huge campaign for
Mm,
reparation for some of its jewels that it houses as well. And so the conversation beckons as to why the British Museum isn't giving it back. Now there was many conversations that were going on, so it'd be interesting to know what people's views are because we had callers coming in saying, "You're damn right, it should go back to the country where it belongs to. It's their jewels."
hmm,
The British
hmm,
colony came in, raped the country, killed the indigenous people, and took what they wanted, all in the name of putting it in a museum for people to pay for. Now that museum has over 80 million people per year come visit it. And does any of the money go back to the countries from where they've taken these jewels or
mm-mm.
artifacts from? And what's the necessity in them actually keeping it? Now, another lady put forward an argument saying, well, some of the countries are a little bit war torn, maybe like Sierra Leone, and that they won't be able to look after it properly. So the British Museum will take more care of it than the country can.
But how do they know that? They took these jewels however long ago. Things have changed in these countries.
It's pure speculation.
Mm,
And it's just a way of trying to keep a hold of something that doesn't belong to them. And I
hmm,
don't understand why. I mean, I do understand why they want to keep them. Um, but what I don't understand is that I think it was the British Museum loaned, I think it was Ghana, some artifacts which actually belonged to Ghana and loaned it for a period of 2 years. Now, Ghana has refused to give it back, saying it belongs to them. And the British Museum's up in an uproar saying it should give it back to the British Museum, belongs there, and so forth. But
mm,
I don't understand the argument for it, irrespective of whether a country is indeed war torn, irrespective of whether it can't look after the artifacts. Is it a duty of the British Museum to have that say in it, or is it for the country to decide?
has to surely be the country, yeah.
Of course, and if
Mm,
indeed that the British Museum is housing it, reparations need to be paid back to the
mm,
country of origin. It
hmm,
just stands to reason. I think it
mm.
does. I think it
Yes,
does.
I agree with you there.
Well, let's play a track and see what comes back in the chat after. We
So
do
see
have it
what
just like that. Sorry, my voice is going. It's just gone completely. Now,
self-inflicted, babe. That's self-inflicted. I got no empathy for you today. I'm sorry.
don't feel sorry for me at all. Nobody does. Nobody does. After the next track, I think I'm going to go and get another cup of mint tea.
Yes.
With this voice. But anyway, last week I spoke about Siamese twins, Laurie and Dory. Now, hold on one second. I've got to get this right now. I think it was Laurie was a girl and Dory used to be George but became Dory.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they were female. They were joined at the head and they had sexual partners and everything and successful. And I think one of them got married and then they died.
Hmm.
And then I was reading about Siamese twins, and do you remember the infamous Siamese twins? And I think they were born in the 1836 or something like that. But they were joined, I think, at the hip. They were like circus attractions way back in the day when I think it was
Mm.
that infamous Barden or whatever his name was. And they had 21 children between them. 21.
Eh?
Now, now, us normal people just about get into relationships and can navigate through the throes of that and maybe have one or two children. But between them, they're 21.
Didn't have
And
no TV back in them days, did it? So
well, it just, I just want to work out how that happened, you know? What if both of them wanted it at the same time? How does that work?
I just don't know. I don't know what to say there.
Well, it's worth a conversation, I think. I'd like to know. I'm that curious. I'd like to understand how how that happened. They were the original Chang and Ed Bunker, Eng Bunker. That's what their names. The Randy
Wow.
brothers were conjoined twins who fathered 21 children between them after marrying two sisters who used
Hmm.
to sleep on opposite sides of the bed.
Now you see. So what does while one person is doing the do, does the other one cut their ears? But but remember, if they're conjoined, they're gonna feel all the movement and vibration. So
Well, they
you
were
got to be a
joined.
strong-minded person to block that out.
Listen, they were joined. What they say at the sternum. They were joined at the sternum. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can get the picture up here and see if I can share it very quickly. There you go. That's where they were joined. So, how
Wow.
is it that they could turn to either side? They had to.
Well, the skin does stretch, doesn't it? Skin stretches, so maybe it can stretch a little piece while they roll
It's
over to
it.
the side. But
Listen, I know certain things can stretch, right? But I didn't think that. I know it's early. It's early. Early morning warning. Trigger warning. Please, everybody. It is the breakfast flight show. But anyway, coming back to these Siamese twins and
mhm.
this sternum that could possibly stretch, right? So I'm still trying to understand the positions that they could do. But anyway, we'll move on to
But maybe
something
back
else.
in them days, they didn't have positions like now because we're a bit freaky now. But back in the early 1900s, it probably wasn't as freaky.
It's
There's
free for
lay there
all.
and take it in it.
It's free for all. Maybe that was it. Well, back in them days there was that. Now in these days we have the multitude and variations of your sexuality. You could be what you want to be. Even Siamese twins can change their gender, but this couple is a little bit more amazing. I think this is the video. So I just want to watch this for a second, and then we'll play a track, and then maybe we'll come back and discuss what we've watched, what we've witnessed.
We met through TikTok. Our transitions as a transgender couple.
I'm 23 years old and I'm a full-time content creator.
I'm 24 years old and I am a fitness content creator. We met through TikTok. Sienna thought I was a chaser. I came in the live. She wasn't paying attention to me. Her comment section had to help me out.
On TikTok and being on live, a lot of men will say stuff to me, but I'm usually just focused on whatever I'm doing. And LaShawn was commenting, and I wasn't really paying it any mind. But then the comments were like, "Girl, go look at his page, go look at his page." And I was like, "Oh, okay, period." And I saw this handsome gentleman here. Then we just started talking off and on for some months. Yeah.
And then I had my top surgery, and then she was in the picture ever since.
But I had never dated anybody trans before LaShawn. So that was kind of a thing for me. I was kind of well, I don't know if once we meet and get together and stuff, if you'll be for me. But then once we started talking consistently and stuff, and he showed me how nurturing and how caring he was and just how he wore his heart on his sleeve, really, that was when my attraction really broadened. We became an official couple.
So, just to get the gist of things, she was a man and is now a she. He was a she and is now a he. And they together, he and she, are together now.
Okay.
Let's
Whatever makes you happy.
let's skip around like she does, skip around.
Right. But this is up for debate because I've got something else I can add into that as well. So I'm gonna play a track and we'll come back to that
Yeah,
if that's all
yeah, I think
right.
we should. I think I need to get a cup of tea.
Yeah, I think
Oh gosh. Well, we didn't have much talk in the chat about that subject, and I could probably understand why because there's not really much to say on that, is there? What could you say? What could you possibly say about someone who wants to change sex and be with someone who's also changed sex? It's free for all in this world. And Spice Nice says it's all confusion, but hey, we are in this confused world. We certainly are. And Miscellaneous said, I wonder would they be together if they stayed with their birth gender? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? You want to move from your original birth gender to be with someone who's now that gender. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Whatsoever. The world in which we are coming to, as Spice says, is totally confused, and we are allowing it to happen by saying it's okay. If you feel you want to be giraffe, go ahead. Be a giraffe. Be a lion next week or a hyena. Take your pick. It's fine. The world is going to accept you. Take some time off because your mental health is being battered a little bit. And also take some hormones, especially when you're 7 years old, because by then you know exactly what you want and you are emotionally aware. That's the world we are coming to. But anyway, changing the subject up a little bit, let's have a little bit something a little bit more
oh,
light-hearted.
can I just say something before we just change the subject there?
Of course
Yeah.
we can. I'm sorry.
Right. So listen, I've got nothing against anybody. I don't care what color, race, sexuality or anything. I don't care about that. As long as you got respect and manners to me, I'll give you it back tenfold. Now, in the press yesterday, I don't know if anyone here watches darts. So there's this black darts player. Yeah. Now she is one. She's well known around the world. She's won trophies, etc., etc. So yesterday she was supposed to be playing a match against a transgender person. Okay. Now this person was previously a male, now identifying as a lady, and the lady in question, I think her name is Headman, something like that. She said she's not going to be playing against no transgender because he was born, originally born a male. Now,
Right.
she's got lots of praise. I've been looking on social media and she got lots of praise for standing her ground. Yes, it can cause controversy, but was she right in doing that?
I there's been lots of talk about this, about transgenderism in sports,
Mm,
where males are transitioning into females and then getting into sports. Because we all know that men um, physically are built stronger than women. There's no
yes,
doubt
that's right.
about that.
Hmm.
Biologically, they are. So, of course, when you start to transition into a woman, you're still going to keep some of that power. And that
Hmm.
is obvious through the sports and some of the sports that the transgenders are dominating.
That's right.
Um, who was it? There was a swimmer. Can't remember again. Not Dando.
Sharon
Got
Davis. I know
Sharon Davis.
Sharon
She's
Davis. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she's very outspoken on the
Hmm.
subject of transgenders in sports, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of talk going on. Maybe they're saying there should be a separate category for
Yes.
transgenders, and I believe there
Hmm.
should be.
Hmm.
They can have that mixed category all to themselves.
Yeah,
Put
no
some flowers
problem.
on it. Twirl around it. I don't really
Hmm.
care, but it's not fair either
Hmm.
way. Women going to men, men going into women. Either way, it's not fair in the sport, and it's
It's not
making
fair
a
on the sport, and
mockery of the sport.
it is. And it's like when you look at men, their bone density is different from women. So even if you transition, you're still going to have that heaviness of your bone structure. So therefore, in sports, like swimmers, it was swimmers as well. There was complaining about that this transgender woman keeps winning all these women's titles and trophies. But anyway, we could go on. But anyway, go on.
But you're right on the bone density of men, because hence the reason why you see some of these men in a skirt and their bodies just don't look right. They can never transition it. They can get parts added on like a backside or some hips or
Hmm.
some breasts, but the rest of them is going to look like a man. They don't
Yeah,
have hips, they
exactly,
don't have curves.
exactly. Anyway,
Let's play it. And then
let's move on.
when we come back, we'll come back to something light-hearted. We'll talk about, and ladies, we need to know this, to be quite honest with you, because all too much we seem to think, where our men come from or the size of their feet denotes the size of their nether regions. Well, I've got a chart A proper chart that tells you where the men with the largest nether regions are. So if you're looking for a man and you're looking for a little bit more, listen in after this. You're going to know where to get them men from. I'm telling you, very interesting, very, very interesting.
Oh, I'm intrigued, girlfriend. I
Oh,
can't
be
wait to hear
intrigued.
this.
Well, it's always intriguing to find out, where to get the best goods from. Whether we think about food, what we pass through our oral receptors, as I can say. Anyway, coming down to the question, okay, we all want to know, right? Where is and I'm going to say the word, I know it's the Breakfast Flight Show, but it's after 8:30. So, where is the country where the men have the largest penises, right? So, we live in the UK. So, where do you think the UK sits in all of this?
As I
There's
said, I think it's near the. I'm sure it's near the bottom.
You reckon? Well, at the bottom end of the scale, okay, is the UK. They sit at 68th place, okay, and with the average size of 5.17 inches. I don't know if you can see that chart. I've put it up there. Let's see if you can delve in. I can always send it to everybody if you want to see. And then the US is just before that at 5.35 inches. And right at the very top, ladies, if you need to get that man with the large girth and size and length, go for the men from Ecuador. They're coming in at a staggering 6.9 inches. I don't know whether this is stand up or flaccid. I'm assuming it might be the latter because they're at the top. So, Ecuador, next up is coming African country. Cameroon, yes, they're coming in second place with 6.56 inches. Bolivia, believe it or not, I don't know any men from Bolivia. I wouldn't believe that these Bolivian men are up there in the chart, but they're coming in third at 6.5. Haitian men, 6.3. Sudan, yeah, them desert men, Um, 6.48 inches. Cuba is in eighth place at 6.24. Gambia, by the way, was in seventh place at 6.25, with Senegal on top of that with 6.26. I forgot to mention those countries there. France, maybe it's because of some of the African people that has congregated in there. They're measured them men, and 6.2 inches. Because you know what? I know for sure that, well, I don't know for sure. I've heard, right, that French men don't have very large ones. So I'm a bit shocked that France is coming in at number 11.
Now, what intrigues me is how on earth do they do these charts, these tests? Hello, can you just measure me? Watch. Is that how they go? You know what I mean? How do they get these statistics? I don't, because some of them is lie. You know what I mean? Some of them is lie. But they said what the largest was 6 point something.
6.93 from Ecuador.
That's small, man.
Well, that's
Small.
why I said, is it when it's in full capacity, or whether it is quite, I'm choosing my words here, or whether it's firing at all cylinders, or it's completely,
You see,
flaccid.
they need to
No
really
sparks.
verify that. Do you know what I mean? But I would love to know who participates in these tests.
Well, maybe they're giving a little bit of change. They go out and do a survey. We don't know. I'll find out the numbers of people who they've surveyed. Oh, actually, it says average erect penis size in inches. That's the stats.
That's it, 6 inch. You know what? Keep your 6.92 inches, man. We need a little more than that. I'm just, sorry.
wait,
I'm hearing.
I'm thinking of 7. I need to get a ruler.
Six,
I need to get a ruler.
that's 30 centimeters. Because the little ruler is 30 centimeters, yeah? Which
So
is 6 inches. So it's a bit more than the little ruler. That's not enough. That is not enough.
Well, I don't know. Not enough is enough for some people, and little bit is enough for some as well. We all got our decisions and choices. Jackie Fitz says some of them don't know how to work the thing properly, no matter what, no matter the size.
That's so, Jackie. You said what I was thinking, girlfriend. This AI is working between us. Yeah.
Mr. Lady says 6 inches is a ruler.
Still not enough.
Oh gosh. So yes, the black countries have the largest. Where is Jamaica in that? I don't know. I don't see it
What?
in the
Don't see no.
chart.
There's no Caribbean islands. I never hear none of the Caribbeans being mentioned there. You know, but
Yeah.
I just know that my black brothers they carry a good piece of packed lunch. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
They carry them carry the weight.
I'm gonna have to look at some other stats, but coming in last now, this is who not to date. People, don't let your daughters date them. Don't date them. Cambodian men, 4 inches. It's not a lot. It just really isn't a lot. Can't really do much with that. Maybe,
4 inches. And I was
yeah.
gonna say something, but I remember it's a breakfast show.
I
But I was just gonna
know. It's
say
like you're blowing out a candle, right?
I was just gonna say all I'm gonna do is this 4 inches. Anyway,
Play a track quick.
anyway. I got an appropriate song. I got an appropriate song to play now. You're talking about these things, yeah? Can I just play the song?
Of course, you can play the
Let's
song.
leave that one like that. That was quite a great news story for so early in the morning. Thank you very much for that.
I haven't. Well, I actually haven't finished quite there. And do you
Oh,
notice all the men in the chat room have gone all silent? Where's David J? Where's Donald? Where are all the guys chatting about this? Have they gone to get their measuring tapes? Is that
they
it?
have. They've gone to run to B&Q quickly to go get the little tape measure and say, oh, like this, and then it goes. Anyway. Good
Well,
morning, Lady B.
you were asking about how they did this research, right? How did they get
Mm.
all these men? Well, the story goes on a little bit, and they were saying that to find out which countries had the largest penises, they had some researchers in Germany carry it out. Sorry, and they reviewed more than 40 recent studies involving thousands of men. Okay, not just hundreds, thousands of men. Now, the team extracted data on the average penis size from nearly 90 countries, with the measurements having been independently verified. Now, I don't know who that person was, but I would have liked to have had that job to go and independently review and check the sizes. You could stand there's and it be well. Anyway, let's go on with that story there. Now, in cases where individuals, right, that- where possible, they said the team avoided using studies where men had self-reported their penis size. So it wasn't like made up. So they couldn't come in and say, mine's 12 inches, I'm big buck. So they couldn't do any of that. So they had to go and measure up properly. Where was this job spec? Anyway, in cases where individuals had a fat pad, okay, above the penis, this was slightly compressed to help with measurements. So they put a pad above the penis, they
Okay.
compressed it. Now, these were all averaged for each country and then converted into inches to allow the comparison between different nations. Now, obviously, some men have larger sizes in certain nations and some didn't. So they took it all and made an average comparison. So that's where it comes from. So don't, believe that, that's the average size. It's from the data that they had actually extracted.
Now, you
So,
see, they don't advertise that on Indeed, do they, for that kind of job or total jobs, do they?
you know
No.
what? I'm a little bit peeved about that because I didn't
Yeah,
see
me
this
too.
advertised anywhere. These things don't come on Indeed, do they, or
That's what I'm
LinkedIn?
saying.
And I suppose if they put that ad out, the influx of applications would be just ridiculous because we'd all want
But
it in it.
you know what it is? It's
I
the
want to check the Africans.
this is what I'm saying. It's the different nationalities. You know what I'm saying? That I might just turn up my nose to and say,
Yeah.
mm,
I avoid the Indians, the Cambodians, the whole of the Asian nations. Sorry, everybody, but I'll go for the Africans. That whole continent is HPQs. I'm
listen,
checking
what we
out
did see,
every
they're in the
brother
top
in there.
10,
Hand measurements, no tapes.
innit? Use my palm of my hand. Okay, okay.
Oh, okay. He's 10 hands. Anyway, listen. We went on to talking about average penis sizes. Sizes. I'm getting tongue twisted because, and so I thought, is there an average size for women? And people have talked about sizes that women have, and I think we should play a track because I need to get my breath back. So we're going to talk about the average size, perhaps, of the women's vagina next.
Really? So we've had the P talk. Now we're gonna have the V talk. Wow. Wow.
Well, some chatter go on. Lady B says, HPQ, I know for a fact, that the 8 inches and up would never have measured. Let's have a look where she's put. Would never have measured up, I think she said. So you've seen and experienced a lot bigger, Lady B. That's what you're trying to tell us this morning.
But
Don't
that's
tell
what
us
I was
too
saying.
much.
6.92 inches are nothing.
Yep. She says, I know men with 8 inches. Good on you, girl. Good on you, girl.
Even
Now,
foot long. Even foot long like a subway.
I've seen some Mandingo warriors in my time. I've seen some Mandingo warriors. Now, MBE Davy J says, for us men, I think it's about quality of pum pum. It's very early this morning, people. Just saying, I believe there are some dead ones. Now, David J, you are coming up with some controversial chat here. Is this in defense of size or something? You know, let's not go there, everybody. Let's not go there. Now, I was speaking about vaginal sizes and things, and how deep or what is the average size of the vagina? We were talking about the length of men, right? So let's have a look at what women are. Now, researchers found that the vaginal depth range, I told you it's an information show as well, not just news, it's information that I'm giving everybody. Now, researchers found that the vaginal depth ranged from approximately 2 to 5 inches, or that's 5 to 13 inches. 13 inches. The average vaginal depth was around 3.6 inches, which is 9.1 centimeters. Now, ladies are now going for their rulers to check that's 9.1 centimeters. Yeah, it could be. A baby has to get
How
down
can
that.
we measure that? We can't put the ruler inside for see how deep he is.
Come on, there's technology now. They can pinpoint with technology
You
once they
know
see
what
it
you
up on
do?
graphs.
You get the man with the length, and that's the way you measure how deep it is. You understand? Oh,
When you feel, look, it's too early. It's too early. Now, so we spoke about the length. Now, people spoke about. You know what? I think we should play a track and come back to this. This is all a bit too deep. I think I'm getting a bit too deep. Let's just go play a track. I think I've got to come off this. It's too much. Who thinks it's too early in the morning for this? It is. It really is.
and I'm the worst guest to have on here about this. I, I love the way the people get interactive. Oh my days.
It's too funny. It really is. I think what else? The MBE David J says, what would it take for Mixcloud to lock off?
It not lock off, man.
Well, listen. In the meantime, that you were playing that track, I actually went to get a ruler because I needed to check, right, what 9 centimeters looks like, because that's what they're saying the average size is. So, trying to hold it up so I can see. Is it 9 inches or 9 centimeters?
It
Nine
has to be.
inches.
It can't be 9 inches. That's too.
Oh
The
wow,
whole
nine
man would
inches is
fall in.
that.
Yeah.
9 inches is that. So that no, they would all fall in. So nine
They-
centimeters is that. That's the average size, women. That's what you've got to expect, men.
So how much is that in inches? 9 centimeters. How much is that in inches?
I'd have to look back
That's
at
about
the
3.5,
article.
4 inches.
3.6 inches.
Yeah, see it there.
That's the average depth. But anyway, coming back with some stats on the lady's vagina this morning on the HPQ Alternative News. Now, they're saying that there's a racial difference and also genetic factors which determine the length of the vagina. All right. Now, don't quote me on this. I've got my ruler in my hand, so I'm being quite strict here. Don't quote me on this. This is reading from an article, okay? This is news. I'm reading from an article. It's not facts. They're saying that white women give birth to babies with larger heads on average, so their hips on average are broader, and their opening is also larger. Now, black women actually have smaller vaginas. Sorry, men. They give birth to babies with smaller heads and have smaller hips. They're saying black women store more body fat on their backsides, but their hips are actually smaller. White people also have longer torsos, and white women also have longer vaginas. Asian women have shorter vaginas than both black and white women, have wider openings than black women, but not as large as white women. So there's a lot to get in there. There's a lot to take in, people, about all of this.
If
Check your sizes amongst races, men. So you know that Asian women have shorter but wider than black women. There you go. Don't say I don't teach you anything here on the show, people. I'm telling you, HPQ is teaching you about depths this morning.
But in saying that, they say what black women have got smaller hips. Well, my hips managed to push out three of them big-headed things through my depth. You understand? Three of them me push out all natural birth, no tear, no cuts, no
Well, perhaps
stitches, no pain relief. Push them all out. So what's that
Well,
saying?
perhaps you're not the average woman. Perhaps you're a special woman. Just put you into the special category. Pick yourself up a little piece. Yes.
You know what they're saying about with the white people? I have got the white in me because my grandfather was white. One of my grandfathers was white. So maybe it's the white gene that helped me push out these three big, melons through a polo mint sort of thing. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Because they're saying white women give birth to babies with larger heads, hips on average are broader, and the opening is wider. So you were able to push that out, no problem, no problem whatsoever. You had the white and the black genes.
That was
You're lucky
it.
girl. You're lucky. Cheryl A says the whole man would fall in. I
If
think
it was
that
a
was.
nice.
There's videos of that. Just go to OnlyFans. You can see that.
Wow.
MBE David J says, D, you're putting a smile on everyone's faces. Trust and HPQ. Jackie Fitz says, heads like spuds. Sorry, I'm so excited. I've come off the page and missed all the chat just then.
Oh wow.
But I'm loving the interaction. Cheryl A says, Delight, you is strong. With a couple of
Me a
G's
strong
and some
woman,
S's in there. Strong woman there.
Me a strong woman. You have to be, man. You have to be, when you got to push out these babies, man. You got to push from the hips, innit? And God bless me with whole heap of hips.
And I feel like black women have, on average, produced more babies in the world than, well, I don't know. We're comparing with the Chinese now and the Indians. I don't know. When I start thinking about that, I really don't know, because there's a lot of those children in the world. So yes.
Well, this is a thing, when you say like China, you only can have one child now? Is it one child?
You know
They
what?
can have.
You know what, Delight? It's time for some more facts there. Let me go and look into that whilst you play a couple tracks. Let me
'Cause
find
I'm sure it's
out.
only one child they're allowed to have. This is why they're leaving China to go to other countries to make more than one child.
I actually think they've relinquished that law now, but I want to
is it?
find
Okay.
out which countries produce the most children. Is it African nations, Indians, Chinese, Americans, UK? Let me go and find out. And you can read out what's going on in the chat.
All right, no problem. Now let's see what the hostess with the mostess, what she's got for us now.
Well, coming back to the original question about children and in population and China's policy specifically, they did have a one-child policy, and that ended in late 2015, and then it formally ended actually in 2016. Now, in the beginning of 2016, the Chinese government allowed all families to have 2 children. And in 2021, they've now said all married couples were permitted to have as many as 3 children. Sorry, my mobile's going off there. As many as 3 children. So that the policy's gone up from 1 to 3, in particular if you are actually married. Now, talking about child population and how many children there are in the world, currently there's estimated at 2 billion children in the world between the ages of 0 to the ages of 14. And there are declining fertility rates, and this number is actually expected to peak in 2050 at 2.6 billion. So there will be 2.06 billion children in the world by 2050, and then it should see a decrease to 1.9 billion in 2100. God, it sounds weird to say the year 2100. I'm just giving you some stats there. In 2017, the number of children under 5 years old was 681 million. That was in 2017. So imagine between that and now, there are 2 billion children. So the jump is how much million to billion? I'm not doing the maths here this
Maybe
morning.
lockdown has something to do with that as well, because lockdown there was nothing for do apart from make child. I wasn't one of them, thankfully, but
Yeah,
you know.
telling you. But the country that has the highest percentage of children, they're saying, is Niger, with 48% of their population being children, and
Wow.
Central African Republic is 48.13. Then you've got Chad, Mali, Somalia, uh, the Republic of Congo. There's another country I've never heard of, Burundi. Sorry, excuse my geography. Angola, Uganda, and then Burkina Faso. Those are the highest populations of children in their 40s. Um,
But
that
you see,
is,
it's all African countries, though.
it is. And they're
All
saying
African
that.
countries.
Well, remember when Prince William did that controversial comment coming out there saying Africa needs to reduce their fertility rates for the sake of the world?
Rank.
He was so
Rank.
rank. I don't know why he's ever been invited back there again. Please say no. Please say no. But coming off that news for a second, we've been talking about all sorts of body anatomy parts, facts and figures. Let's get on to some serious news now. I'm going to tip quite going backwards back onto the agenda news, as I call it, because sorry, put my mic down. Coming back on the agenda news, as they call it, because gender-specific toilets are to be required in non-residential buildings in England. So remember a few years ago, they were talking about ensuring that toilets were to be gender neutral. Now they're bringing back gender specific toilets. So new restaurants, offices, and schools and hospitals in England will be required to have separate male and female toilets. What do they think these companies are getting the money to revert, put back, revert, put back?
It's crazy.
Make up your mind.
Isn't it?
They're saying that this is a growing concern about privacy and dignity in gender neutral facilities. Now, whoever put these bills through, don't think about these things. Don't you ever think about, oh, let's think about the risk, or let's think about what could happen to other people, rather than moving forward with Stonewall's policies of having this gender fluid world. So this law will mean that all these newly built, and this is newly built buildings, by the way, newly built non-residential buildings will require separate facilities and cannot solely have universal lavatories. So that's what they're saying. So according to ministers, 81% agreed with the intention for separate single-sex toilet facilities. So that's a good thing coming back. You know, we've been fighting for this for a long time. And I think they were talking about children having issues with their privacy and dignity in toilets where it was of the same sex, and that's been ill thought out, specifically in schools. And again, where you've got transgenders or people transitioning being able to use the toilets, and sometimes you don't know people's intentions. And yes,
Exactly.
you have to be fair to people, but you don't know. Some children can be disturbed, you know.
And
Some
that's it,
children
because
can be
you
exposed too much from a young age.
exactly this. And you know, when you think young girls, it's bad enough having a period, but a young girl, you know, not having her privacy at school to change her pad or tampon, whatever she's doing, you know, and you got a guy there that's transitioning and watching or whatever, it's uncomfortable. It's really
It's very,
uncomfortable, and it's not fair. It's not
I
fair.
know, and especially when they have the argument that they have periods too, it's just like, no, it's not. It's probably from the medication you're taking. It is
Right.
not a proper period by
Right.
any means whatsoever.
And
No.
the thing is, we're not here trans bashing, because you know, it's up to the individual what they want to do. But some of these laws and things that they put in through, it just doesn't make any sense to the normal joy blogs like me and you.
Absolutely. I would never trans bash, but I think we're all allowed an opinion on what's going on, especially as us as a woman, because it affects us. These new laws and these changes are affecting us and our own privacy and dignity as such. So of course we want to make a stand and have a say. I don't want the word eradicated. That's what I grew up with. It's that's what it means in the dictionary, to be a biological woman, to have all these functions and things on our body. And just because you put them in place and put them on there doesn't necessarily mean that you
No.
are. You
Exactly.
are perhaps in thought and in the what you've created, but are you biologically a woman? No. And there should be a complete difference, and there is. You're transgendered, but you are not a whole complete
No.
biological woman. That's my argument on it. But each to their own. I'm not saying no one can't have the right to transition and change. Of
Oh yeah,
course you
of
can
course, of
do.
course.
Of course you can do. And I do believe it. I do believe that people can be born in the wrong body, where our genetics, our genes and chromosomes can fail. And
Yeah.
it happens when you've got children that have autism or deformities, Siamese twins, all those kind of things,
Hmm.
where it could go incorrect and the balance is made up afterwards, especially hermaphrodite children as well, where you've got to work out the sex because they're
Yeah.
born with both
Both.
to see
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
stronger. So
Mm.
it's a huge debate out there, one of which I don't want to get into too much. I don't
No.
want to
No.
feel like I'm taking the mickey out of them, but it is such a strong subject and it is such
Yeah.
a strong discussion point that it does need to be discussed at both ends of the strands, good and bad,
Hmm.
opinionated, ignorance as such. So
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that one right there. I'm going
Hmm.
to come on to something that's going to make us all angry now.
Oh
Really
my God.
angry, really angry. I always talk about things that price rises and bills and the cost of living. And we know that Amazon Prime changed their subscription, right? So if you are an Amazon Prime member, you now start to see adverts. There's no streaming the whole film, um, and used to get free V, I think it is, and that's where you got the adverts. But now across Amazon Prime, when you're watching a film, you're going to see adverts unless you subscribe up to a package where it's ad free. So that's more money they're grabbing there. Now Netflix is jumping onto the bandwagon. You thought Netflix weren't going to do it? Oh yes, they are. And Netflix viewers are up in arms and threatening to cancel their memberships over a sudden change to the basic package. Now, Netflix are going to start to introduce ads, of which you can't opt out of. So you're going to see ads, period.
But that was the
Can't
whole
opt
point of
out.
getting Netflix, though, to avoid the adverts.
Yeah, I know. I know. And it said in July last year, they announced that its basic $7.99 a month ad free plan will no longer be available to subscribers, including a price tier system that allowed viewers to opt out of adverts, of which you can't now. Now, a basic subscription in the UK without adverts is currently $7.99. Under the new system, you will be saving more, apparently. So you can now pay $4.99 for the subscription service, but it will have ads, and that $7.99 package will go. So you will be saving £3. No doubt later on in the year they will increase the price. So maybe savings for 3 to 6 months, but they will increase the price at some point. But and to sweeten the pill, as they say, Netflix say that there's 720p video for those who are, technological,
Mhm.
in the technology. Announced that the 720p video quality, they will now be able to enjoy in an upgraded HD function across
Ooh.
the board. That means
Ooh.
your TV and movies will look better, but the adverts will seep into those to your overall viewing experience. Yes.
But these adverts are killing us everywhere we go. Adverts are killing us. We go on social media, adverts. You play a game, yeah, you got adverts. No, no, it's turning the world crazy.
We started playing Scrabble, and the amount of adverts that come into that Scrabble game is
Is that why
unbelievable.
you don't want to play me, or is it because I'm beating
No.
you?
I was getting beaten up a little bit, and I thought, let me come in and come again. I have to come again. There was I'd had too many family members over the last
Yeah,
couple of
yeah.
weeks on holiday, so I'm coming back to
Okay.
play Scrabble again. But yeah, nothing's for free. Remember years ago,
No.
you could get all sorts of apps for free. You could
Mhm.
upgrade to the plan for a lifetime plan. Now it's moved to monthly. You
Yeah.
can't get a lifetime plan anymore for many of these apps. You have to pay a
Mhm.
monthly subscription. Even with Microsoft Office, you'd be able to buy it. You used to be able to buy it and you
Yeah,
got
I
it.
remember buying it. I remember
And then
buying
they
that.
and then they would do it for a year or 18 months. And now it's a monthly fee. You can't just buy it outright anymore.
It's mad, isn't it?
Too
It's
much
mad.
money. Money in my pocket.
Yeah,
Telling
but we
you
ain't got much money in our
not.
pocket because the government keep taking it with the price. The price of food is ridiculous right now.
And after that, we'll talk about mortgage rates and why they're not coming down and they're going
Well, I'm
up.
glad I ain't got no mortgage. I'm glad I've just gone back to renting. You know what I mean? So glad. And we
We're
hand it
back.
over back to HPQ.
I turned around and I said I was going to explain the reason why mortgage rates are going up. Now, I kind of read about it and I still don't understand. I reckon that they're taking us for fools. I really do reckon that because there's no reason why mortgage rates should be going up when they kind of went down at the beginning of the year. Now, they're saying that because borrowing is more expensive. That's the reason why the rates are maintaining at the highest, or at this high level. Now, the mortgage often preempts their move with the Bank of England, where they benchmark the interest rates known as the base rates. Um, and the higher the rate, the more expensive it is to borrow money. Now, the Bank of England has kept that base rate as some high rate, and because they're speculating that the base rate may rise, so the mortgage rates are preempting that and saying that the mortgage rates are staying high or they're rising to preempt that move by the Bank of England, who will raise the base rate instead of decreasing it, I believe. So that's in a nutshell. If you're confused, so am I still. I attempted to work that out, but I don't know if I got through that. Now, earlier on in the show, I was talking about myself listening to LBC, always in the car, and there's always some interesting subjects. Now, another subject that they were talking about earlier on, I was speaking about artifacts and whether they should be reparated to the country of origin. They had some callers on talking about scamming. Now, I'd like to touch on scamming on most of the shows because it is a subject that's out there. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of receiving friend requests from people I am already friends with. Now, I know I haven't defriended them, so I don't know why they're coming back again. So most of the time I'm ignoring them. And it makes it confusing to find out which is my real friend, the original real friend, and
Mm-hmm.
now which is the fake friend. And Facebook are not helping in these people being able to copy profile pictures or go in and take pictures. And it's difficult because I go into people's files if I'm looking for a picture and I can download it and put it into a video ad I may be doing. You take that away and it's going to make it quite difficult and you're relying on the person to
Mm-hmm.
send it to you. So it's a double-edged sword there on what you want to do. Now, two callers came in on the radio show, which was of quite concern in terms of the scamming. And one gentleman was talking about he got scammed out of £45,000. And I was like, wow, it's a lot of money. But he spoke about the fact that banks have now more of a legal pressure to try and get your money back, especially if you've been a victim of scamming. So if the more you put pressure on your banks in terms of refunds for scamming events, the more you'll be inclined to get some money back. So for those of you that have been scammed, it doesn't matter what the cost is. Please fight with your banks. There's lots of templates out there for you to use where you can write to the banks, and if the banks are not responding, then you can write to the FCA. Just make sure you have all the evidence, receipts and dates and times and conversations of what you've had with the scammers. Now, one such caller that came in, which was of real concern, was a lady, and she was crying even before she spoke about the story because she spoke about a guy that she met. I can't remember which country it was. Let's just say it was Ecuador because it's on the top of the list for, male girth. Um, and let's just say she met a guy from there, and she said, he would call her. They met on Facebook, they became friends, and he would call her all the time, every day, in fact, every evening. Good morning, good afternoon, how was your work day? Have long conversations. She spoke to her family about him, her friends, her workplace. There wasn't anybody that didn't know about this guy. And he showered her with love and affection. Um, Now, what she started doing, obviously, was sending him Amazon gift cards of money or gifts like a laptop and other bits and pieces. So when the host asked her how much money she had actually spent or sent him, and before I go on to that, she actually found out that she was a victim of a scam when one of her friends rang the actual number or found out some pictures. Things just looked really weird. So she started doing a bit of digging around and found he had been using a picture of somebody else. And then when they actually got hold of his phone number and rang him, it was sad to say it was a Nigerian man that was scamming this white lady. And he actually got a picture that he was supposed to be of a different race. He actually got like a child to ring in to say, "Oh, you're making my dad really happy. Thank you so much. I need some money for this and that." So she was duped into that as well. The man spoke to her family and friends, or so she thought. Um, and I don't know if she ever met him or whether he made excuses about why he couldn't see her. But she got duped out of £95,000.
What? 95K. Wow.
£95,000. She said she maxed out
Wow.
credit cards. She borrowed her friends and family. She remortgaged. And this is imagine, you've not even had sex with the person imagine you've not had sex with this person and you give up 95 thousand
Well, you haven't
pounds.
even met him, let alone have sex. Do you know
You
what I'm
haven't met
saying?
him, you haven't
It's
seen him, you haven't had sex, and you give up. I mean, £1,000 still, I could lose that. I can't afford to lose it, but I
yeah,
could
but
concede. I could concede and say I've been stupid. But anything over that, I'm,
no, it's just
yeah, it's
wrong because
hard.
my thing would be this, yeah. I've never met you, but you're asking me for money and no. From that, you ask me for even a pound. I'm not interested. You need to be with me for me. Do you know, I'm not parting with nothing. I'd rather stay on my own. But you see, these scammers can see how desperate, they can smell the desperation
They
of some of
smell
these women.
vulnerability.
But
Mm,
it happens to guys as well because they got that program on BBC about the scammers, yeah, and they do a reverse search of these photographs and whatever, you know. So there's too much scamming going on, especially like you say on Facebook. Every day I'm getting friend requests from somebody that I'm already friends with, you know. Even people who I got one the other day. The thing is blank, and there's no mutual friends, nothing. There's absolutely nothing. But you want me to add you as a friend? It
it's
don't make no sense.
ridiculous. No,
It don't make no
it
sense.
really is, and it was really hard to. Even though I mean, Jackie Fitz says she's stupid, and she is, and I think that's the crux of how she's feeling is that she feels incredibly stupid, incredibly taken advantage of, very, very vulnerable, absolutely depressed, because that's a lot of money. It's not a little bit of
Mm.
money. That's your pension, half your house or whatever gone. And you kind of think how at what point do you realize that you're being duped? Was it at 5,000, 10,000, 20, 30, 40, 50? And who was around her at that time to see what she was doing? Did she not have any friends? Did she not confide in anybody? And if someone's giving up 95,000, you must notice that it's having an impact on their life. It's got
Well,
to.
this is what I'm saying because in some parts of the UK, you can buy a house for 95 grand. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's like, so now you got to spend the rest of your life paying back that money to the credit card companies, to your friends and family who you borrowed money from the bank. So the rest of your life now is spent just paying money, and you're never going to be happy when you thought you were happy before, but you were
I know.
duped. It's
I
really
know.
sad. It's really, really sad, but
It
you know,
It is, and I think she really did think she was in love, and as you said, they smell out desperation. They
yeah.
seek out vulnerable people. Victims of scammers are, especially the financial ones, where they've got the jobs, are people that really, really want money and want money now and don't really want to work too hard for it, or need money now and dire need of money now, and this is a quick fix way of
Mhm.
getting it. They are in
Mhm.
dire straits. Not like, oh, I could do with a little money here. It's the
Mhm.
ones that need money now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so they become vulnerable to these scams. And then you've got the loved ones, the relationship ones, where women have just been divorced, they've been in a loveless marriage for 20 years. They may see themselves as not attractive and that no other man will take a look at them, and suddenly you get someone paying you all this interest and all this compliments, and just loving you, saying all the right words.
Mm. But
I don't
sometimes
know.
you got to know yourself, and you got to learn to protect your heart. You know what I'm saying? You've got to learn to do that. Sometimes it's better being on your own than being with someone who is, living in foreign. If you can't meet them, no interest. Can't be
But
done.
we've all been a victim to that, though. You go to Jamaica, you get nice up, and
I
that
don't know
love
about
this,
that, you know.
that love
I don't
this
know about
carry
that.
on. Some of you girls have been, seen some of them Jamaican men. You might not be so stupid, but you have a little
Well, you know
something,
what?
something,
We've got Happy
something,
People
something.
Promotions here. Good morning. Asking HPQ, can you lend him £1,000? That's what Happy People Promotions is asking. Can you lend him £1,000 if that's your max? That's what
Uh,
he's put in the chat room.
it,
And now I've just received a text saying, "Can I lend somebody £5,000? 5,000 cussing you gonna get. That's all you're gonna get. 5,000 cussing.
Listen, I said that's what I could afford to lose if I was a victim of a scam. I'm
Yeah,
not giving it away just so, right? So don't ask. Nobody gets my money. Nobody gets cash. It's not about that. I'm not the bank of
yeah,
HBQ. I need to be looked after. You give me cash. You know
isn't
what I mean?
it?
I'm all right with that. Maybe I should get one of these fake Facebook profiles up and go nice up to
Yeah, but
to
I
old
don't
man.
understand. If I've got a friend, yeah, They should have my phone number. They want to be contacting me through Facebook. Oh, Dee, can you lend me £100? No, you would contact me via phone, and I don't even want it by a text message. You pick up the phone and card me and say you want the money. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had that on,
It's
on WhatsApp. They had my friends. Wait, was it? It's someone I knew. He played Steel Pan,
mm,
and contacted me saying, "Yeah, how are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" Just thinking it was this person. And the next bit dropped. Oh, I can't get into my bank account. I'm going to need some money. Can you send me £250 now? And I'm thinking this man would never
mm,
ring me up, never text me like this, and would
mm-hmm,
secondly never ask me for money. We don't know
mm-hmm.
each other like that
You like
for
that
him
to
to be
ask,
coming
yeah.
to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I put some expletives in there and blocked immediately, and then told the person who it was and said, "Listen, there's someone
Mm.
doing a little scam on your name, so please
It's mad.
beware."
Yeah, because
So,
look, even Lady B just said a scammer tried to scam me on WhatsApp when I was at HPQs and gave him a good cussing.
oh, she did. Now, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I ever want to be the victim of the outbursts from Lady B when
In
someone
it.
has wronged her. If you have wronged Lady B, just run, get a plane ticket, go to another country, just leave, because she don't mince her words. Honestly,
Wow.
she's not horrible, but she
Mm.
don't mince her words. Don't mess with her, basically, you know. But she's
Right.
wonderful. She's my brethren. She's my proper brethren. She's like a little lioness. She just
Oh, she's
roars
lovely.
now and
She's
again.
lovely.
Yeah, she
Hmm.
does. But listen, let's play a track and let's dwell on this scamming. I just want to put a last word out there. You know, please, everybody, be diligent. You know, don't
Hmm.
answer text messages saying click on this link because your bank needs to talk to you. Just take the back of your card, ring the number on the back of that, and call your bank. Any institution texting you, asking you to click on a link, unless you're expecting it, like if it's a job and they say you need this for, you know, to click on to get your HR done, unless you're expecting a link, do not click on a link. And if you are just not sure at any point, ring the institution or ring the person themselves. Just don't do it blindly,
Hmm.
please, ever.
See, wise words from a wise woman. And I hope you're all taking that on board because anybody can get scammed. Even as intelligent as we are, it's plausible that it can happen to any of us at any time, you know?
Good.
Right, let me play a track and then we're going to have HPQ come back in with a few more words. Let's just keep it like that. So HPQ, welcome back. How are you going to, close the comments of this show this morning?
Gosh, and still felt like I had a few more stories to tell, but it's been an interesting morning, hasn't it? We've gone across a few subjects here. You know, it's been interesting. I hope the mixed clouders have enjoyed the news, and I've definitely enjoyed the music. I forgot to tell you that I had to Shazam one of those tunes. I think it was Children of Zeus or something like that.
Listen,
That
that's my
track.
group, Listen, that is my group. I've seen them, I think, 7, 8 times now. Absolutely love them.
Oh my
Absolutely
God,
love
that
them.
track you played, I just thought, I don't know if you
I
saw
will
me in the green
send
room.
it
I was
to
like this.
I will
No,
send it to you, baby girl. No
it's all right. I
worries.
found a copy. I found a copy. Don't worry. I got it already.
Okay.
It's all done and dusted. But thank you for the tunes that you've been playing. It's been absolutely excellent. It's been a pleasure to have you co-hosting with me today. And just like Lady B was obviously jealous. She wanted to be up here with us. It would have been a fantastic laugh. But I've had a fantastic time,
It's been
as I
great,
said.
man. It's been great for me to do something a little different as well. So, yeah, this has been a pleasure. Thank you very much for the invite.
And when are you back on again? Are you back on tomorrow with your
Well,
pop
I was
segment?
on yesterday as it was bank holiday. I covered for Pablo yesterday. I'm on today with you. Tomorrow I am on with Pablo for the Breakfast Mix show where I will do the top of the pop segments. You know that's one of my fortes, and then
I
we'll play
know.
whatever after that. And then I've got my own show on Thursday from the
Oh
hours of
wow.
9 a.m. until 12 with the Groove in Motion show. So yeah, this week is just all about delight. I don't know.
It's all about delight. We're going to be delighted with the sounds of
Of
delight. It's
delight.
lovely. Always a
Exactly.
pleasure. And we've got you on radio all week. So what more could we have?
What more could you ask for?
Now, I
Delight
don't know.
overload.
Now, I don't know when I am back. As I said, it's supposed to be start. I thought I was starting a new job on Monday. Realised it was bank holiday. It's supposed to be today, but it's actually tomorrow. And I don't know what the schedule is going to be like for the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to have to
Hmm.
relinquish the Breakfast Flight show. Maybe you can team up with Sharky to do a few shows with him.
Yes, I could.
Yeah, and do some news and reviews or chat and a laugh whilst I can
Hmm.
work out a schedule or timetable to see what we can do to
Hmm.
bring myself back. But it's been an absolute pleasure. But before
Yeah,
I
man.
go, I want to talk about a film review, which is what I normally do some weeks. Now, last week or the week before, I spoke about Baby Reindeer. Have you seen Baby Reindeer
I
at all?
watched it over the weekend, and I have to say, it was different. Do you know what I mean? It was different. I
Bit like
liked it.
Saltburn, a bit like Saltburn. That
Uh,
film. If you watch that,
mm-mm. No,
you didn't watch it.
no.
That kind of dark black comedy type
Hmm.
satire type thing. Yes, I thought it was very good. Actually, I actually loved the movie. So for those of you that are interested, Baby Reindeer's in I think it's 7 or 8 part series
Hmm.
about a stalker, obsessive stalker, started over a cup of tea. But a film or a program I'd like to recommend that's on Netflix is called The Asunta Case. Okay,
I
and it's
started to watch that. I started. I only watched the first about 20 minutes, but okay.
it's actually, and it's a kind of like a documentary film.
Hmm.
Goes on about the case of this young, I think it was Chinese girl. She was Asian anyway, that was adopted from when she was young and lived with this Mexican couple or Colombian, I think it was, up until the ages of 12 or 13 when she was murdered. And the case is around whether the parents did it or not.
Hmm.
And I was getting really, really upset with the mother because she was just like this depressive mad woman um, who was very narcissistic. Um, but you kind of felt sorry for her as well because she was always
Hmm.
crying and felt like she was, downtrodden. But she was a successful lawyer, and it just moves in and out the story, which just shows clues which seem like the parents did it, but we don't know. But whatever the case, they both killed themselves. Well, she killed herself in prison, and he is not eligible for parole until I think 2031. But
Oh
watch the
wow.
program. It's a good series to watch. Make sure you get the audio subtitles in because it is in its native language. But a very, very, very good series to watch
Thank you.
if you ever wanted anything. And some bits in it, I wanted to say that they found out that they were drugging the daughter with, I think it's something called lorazepam, for the 3 months
Lorazepam.
leading
Yeah.
up to her 3 months leading up to her death, because they did hair samples and found that she had this drug in her, and they couldn't kind of explain the reasons why that was happening. But
Hmm.
nevertheless, I'll let you watch it so you can find out exactly what happened in the
Hmm.
program.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you
But
very much, my
Delight,
love.
thank you so much. I'm going to let you close out this show now. I'm going to have to run and
Hmm.
do a few other bits and pieces, and I'm going to be listening to the music in the background and chatting in the chat
Okay.
room. Just want to say
Okay.
thank you to everybody on HPQ, GY Radio, and Sharky DJ Stream. And hopefully, everyone, I will see you again very soon. You'll see Sharky next week, minus the HPQ. Thank you very much, Delight, and
All right,
thank
my
you, Mix
darling. Well,
Clouders.
thank you again. All right.